Hi guys, this is Wrexlepert here, and as that theme tune may have given away, we've got a special edition of the Wrexlepert show. As Raw recently had a crossover with Stranger Things, the ultimate Netflix combination. I'm a little late getting around this, I know. I've been pretty unwell lately. Still got some sniffles, but, we power through. Couldn't leave you guys waiting much longer. So let's get right into it. So, initially, we have a whole upside-down intro, and the camera spins around, and very, it really feels like we could be in Hawkins. And then Michael Cole and Corey come out, and Corey has promised us Dungeons and Dragons tonight. Corey, genuinely, please don't say something like that unless you really mean it, because, just some things you can overpromise, and, but yeah, the show, so this is the 1 year anniversary of Raw on Netflix. I know last year we had a lot of Legends came out, and they all said Netflix. I do fear this won't happen this year, particularly as some of those Legends have met their utter demise. But oh man, if one of the Stranger Things kids appears and says Netflix or even wrestling, I may just lose my mind. The big question, who will cosplay as 11? Was hoping it might be Io, and then maybe because, Rhea loves all that heavy metal stuff, she could have cosplayed as Eddie Munster. But, wasn't to be. Your new ladies tag team champions, the Genii of the Sky, Rio Sky, please. Up next, we have the person, Becky Lynch, versus Maxine Dupree. There's also a Stranger Things character called Maxine. Could it mean? Sadly, it does not mean. Just a normal wrestling match with some really interesting bad moves. Eventually, Becky wins by pinning Maxine, but in a clever way, where she suspended herself in the air by holding the rope, therefore putting no pressure on Maxine whatsoever. And, I guess the trick was Maxine didn't even realize she was being pinned. Becky really playing 4D Warhammer over here. Up next, the Usos come out, and I love how they keep finding new ways to do their second Yeet session. This time they do it without ever even coming to the ring. They just say Yeet on the microphone and then leave to cheerful noises. Awesome stuff. Up next, Stephanie Vaquer is out, but I'm a little worried as she's wearing a corrective boot. And let me tell you, they are no joke. I had to wear one for a while due to a complete vaporizing of my ankle when trying to do a superhero landing. And I had to wear the boot for, 4 months, and then used a wheelchair and crutches for another 4 months, though that was by choice, depending on which friends I had over. But then Raquel comes out and absolutely banalizes Stephanie's leg. Man, this is heartbreaking. Not to mention leg breaking. Sadly, I don't think Stephanie will be bouncing her bottom up and down anytime soon. We still haven't had anyone from Stranger Things showing up yet, disappointingly. I don't know, maybe they're saving it to go big. They could have Vecna interfere in the world title match. That would be upside down awesome. Up next is the aforementioned world title match, as Braun Breaker is challenging CM Punk. Corey says Punk has a gas tank on him. Yeah, I guess he does. Not quite Jacob Fatu, but pretty good. Now, of course, the Vision are here to ruin everyone's fun. But luckily, all the great luchador pals are here to save the day. I gotta say, there's a real missed opportunity there. They could have had Ray do his classic, his jumping out of the ground move, but they could have had him jumping out of the upside down. Maybe holding like a Demogorgon's severed head or something. Here is your and still World WWE Champion, CM Punk. Well, that appears to be the show. I gotta say, I am absolutely devastated to my guts that we didn't see any Demogorgons or Dustins. 5 more minutes. Oh, okay then. I thought I'd bring back the 5 more minutes segment. Just because I wanted to touch on a couple of notable episodes of Raw. So I'll just kind of discuss those, give a quick run through before I get out of here. So we recently had an episode of Monday Night Raw come live from Dusseldorf, Germany. I just kind of was like, it's kind of a notable town for me because I actually had an ex from there. Sadly we broke up due to a few issues that were really all my fault. But like one day, she looked through my phone and saw I'd been looking up wrestling spoilers after she already begged me not to. Man, I was heartless sometimes. Of course, to make it up to her, I smashed my phone to prove I'd never go on there again. But sadly, I'd picked up the wrong phone, and well, let's just say an unnamed person lost all the photos of her recently deceased cat. But I mean, the gesture was still the same. She didn't see it that way. She was just all, you ruined the last day. Chicks, man. So that was Raw from Dusseldorf. What a great show. And the other kind of special episode of Raw, I just want to give a quick rundown. They recently had one from Belfast and the island of Ireland, as they kind of mentioned quite a few times. But something that they kind of didn't note, maybe because it's a bit of a touchy subject or whatever to some people, but I know it's just facts. But yeah, so there's actually a place in Ireland called Northern Ireland. So you've got Southern Ireland, which is all kind of places like Dublin and these kind of things, and the Northern Ireland, it's all Belfast and other places like that. But the thing is that, so everyone who lives in Southern Ireland is Irish, but everyone who lives in Northern Ireland is English. So it's kind of this really interesting dynamic. But yeah, so Balor was from, he was kind of heralded as the hometown hero, even though he was actually from the southern part. So yeah, I mean, I don't know of a kind of better kind of comparison. Maybe you think of someone like Bret Hitman Hart. He was from Canada, but he was still from North America. So I guess it's kind of a similar thing here. Balor is Bret Hart, or no, maybe Belfast is Bret Hart, and Balor is America, if that makes sense. Yeah, he had a great match against CM Punk, and nearly got to. He came so close to taking the world title home to. Well, not Belfast, but the other part. I've kind of realized now. Actually, I did some further googling. I'm actually terrified of the outcome of the things I've said here, so I will actually end the show. I will just quickly say, Gunther and AJ Styles, they had a little chat, and basically the point of it was, so they're going over to Royal Rumble, over in Saudi Arabia, which is where WWE is kind of looking to officially base their operations going forward, I believe. So that'd be really cool. Maybe they could kind of do like special, U.S. shows as like a homecoming. Once a year, WWE returns to the United States. That could be really fun. But if AJ doesn't beat Gunther, he has to retire. Now, I don't know if that means like just from wrestling, or like will he never be allowed to have a job anywhere again? Surely Gunther doesn't wield that sort of power. That would be ridiculous. What are they thinking? Giving a guy like this, look, I gotta get out of here because I said some really questionable stuff about Belfast, and I'm a bit scared. Bye. Wrexlepert.